Hello, and once again welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to do a V-bit carving, sometimes known as a 2.5D carving. Now what a V-bit is, this is quite a large one. This is an industrial V-bit. It's 32 millimeters in diameter at its extremities here. That's about 1.5 inches. And it's 90 degrees, and this particular one is tungsten. It's got a tungsten insert. You would also have noticed in my channel there's been very little new material for some months. There's a very good reason for that. My last trip overseas, my wife became really seriously ill. We just about got back to Australia, and she was rushed into ICU, where it was found that she contracted Legionnaire's disease and she had sepsis, and to be quite honest with you, she nearly died. I mean, it was that serious. So that's why I've been out of action, and I'm sorry if the channel has suffered. Well, you know. She's home now and recovering, and she's actually put up a couple of comments, I think, saying that I'm not particularly a good nurse, but you know, we're sort of looking after each other. And anyway, so that's the reason why things haven't been I haven't been putting up many new videos. And we've also decided to take a back step in business, not really retiring, but you know, we're not going to be so active in business, and we're going to look after each other. So today's project, I don't know whether you can pick it up on that screen. I've got quite a lot of lighting in here, and it reflects around a bit. It's something like the Mayan calendar up here, but it's just a design. And what I want to do is show you that the CNC router can cut something like a coffee table top in sort of 2.5D cut, and just a sort of fairly complex pattern. I don't know whether you can pick it up on that screen, but I'm doing it in MDF. It could be done in oak, any material you like, but really. It could be a coffee table, it could be just a wall plaque, whatever you really want to make it. It's really just a demonstration of 2.5D carving. Okay, so the first job is to take this 6mm shank tool out. This is a lovely cutter. This is. It's a 2mm ball mill. It's a tapered cutter. And I do all my 3D machining with that. They're beautiful. So that's a 6mm collar that's coming out. Just make sure there's no muck in there. I pop this one in. This one is a 12mm collet. There's a 12mm shank. I'm going to pop that in there like that, and then pop this in. It should come all the way through to the end there. That's the proper way of holding them in a collet. The collet should have maximum grip onto the shank, and then we Don't over tighten it. What I was doing there was making sure that I was watching the very tip to see if it was running really true, because sometimes you can get them in there a little cocked. So just make sure of that. Now then, what I want to do now is put the boot on. So and I do recommend anybody who purchases a CNC machine, whoever you purchase it off, see if you can purchase one of these, or go direct to this company. Go direct to this company and purchase from them. They're very, very good, and I rely on it a lot. Now from where I'm standing, let's see the X. Sorry if my head's in the way there a bit. We're going to call that good. And now the Z. Now the Z is very easy actually. Now for the Z, people all over the world use just a bit of paper actually, and it's a little bit more difficult with a boot on there, but you can still do it. So what you're doing is you're just feeling for that point to come and grab the paper, and the paper's about 1/1000 of an inch. I mean, that's we're cutting a bit of MDF or timber. In this sort of instance, you know, the nearest 1/1000 of an inch is fine. When you come to machine metal with milling machines or CNC mills, as we'll be doing in the future, then you need to be a little bit more accurate. So we're gonna come down just a bit to grab this. There you are, just grabbed it there. So now I'm going to set the 0 point, or this is commonly known as the G54. So we're going to set that in Mach 3 right now. Okay, so to set the zeros now for the X, Y and Z, this incidentally is what's known as the G54, or the work offset. The home position, which is here at this corner, okay, and the work offset, G54, that's exactly what it means. It's offset from the home position. So we will set those right now. So we just go up and go X, X0, Y0, Z0. So now the 0 position is set, and what you must do then is regen the toolpath, because then if you noticed, Mach 3 put the workpiece where it is actually in relation to the table. You see it jump down then? So now Mach 3 knows exactly where that piece is, and all will be fine. So now we will cut it. clumsy me caught this USB cable in my chair and dislodged it out of the computer when it was running the code. So disaster has struck when it was over here, cutting this area here. Now, of course, I don't know. I know roughly what line of code it was on. I'm not really sure, but that isn't the problem. The problem is the computer was still running, and the code was still running, but the machine was stationary, so it's lost its way. So therefore, it's lost its 0, position. So now I'm going to show you how to get it back. Now, so you have to find the center of the material. Of course, the center of the material has been machined away. So you have to do it by measurement. Now, this piece of material is exactly 456 millimeters. So we need, let me see, 128? Yeah, 120, thereabouts. Which I brought the machine to that. It is 128. You can just about make that up, or make that out rather. And if I put this lovely long ruler through here, and if I can swap hands, and you can see that that is pretty well exactly 228 in that direction. So XY should be pretty perfect. So in that case, we can go to Mark III and say X and Y, regen the toolpath. That puts it down to there. That doesn't look right. So do you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to... That really doesn't look right at all. So that means the machine home is altered too. So that means I'm going to have to home the machine first and then go and measure it. So I'll home the machine and come back. Okay, I've rehomed it, and let's see. I need to go 0.5 millimeter. There. So that's perfect in the X. Now let's do the Y. A little difficult holding the camera and doing this, but we'll manage. Yeah, it's actually pretty well there. A bit closer to that. Back a little, I think. Ooh. Y. That's it. Okay. So now now we can set the X and Y, and you watch that. Watch this jump in the correct position now. Boom. That's correct. This is all within less than 0.5 millimeter. So let's get rid of this. Go back. And now the Z is not too much of a problem because this is pretty level over its entire surface here. It's within 0.25 of a millimeter, so I can come anywhere on here and do the Z. which I will do right now. Run a little faster. A little faster again. Let's move it over. And we've got a nice patch of red. Just there. Go back a bit. Over a bit more. Okay. Bit of paper. Oh, let's get a bit of paper. Okay. Everything running? Right. Now then, I've worked out in the program that we are approximately 68,500 lines in. So what you do, you go here, highlight this, and you put 68,500 and press enter. So then Mark 3 jumps to that line of code. Now then, we're going to say cycle start, and a little box will come up. Okay, so there's that box. And now, so we're starting on 68,500, and we're running. This is where the X, Y, and Z coordinate is where it's going to run from. And we're going to say OK, and she should start up. Might have to press cycle start. There we go, she's off. Straight back in where it left off. And that's how to start or restart a CNC router when disaster strikes. And that is how you do a 2.5D curving. And it's very nice, it's very presentable. You know, you could have done a number. I mean, this is the basic cut. We could have cut it out, but it looks okay as a wall plaque. It could be a seat of a chair. It could be a coffee table or a small occasional table. You could cover it with glass. It could be any material that you want. It could be plastic. It could be even stone if you wanted it to be. The methods of cutting these materials would be slightly different. But this actually looks very nice cut into oak or pine or any type of nice wood actually. So that's it. And of course, right 2/3 of the way in, disaster struck, albeit clumsy me, kicking the USB cable at the side of the computer. And of course that it was a good example of if disaster strikes and you're considerable time into a piece. This is quite a quick job to do. This probably takes about I think about 40 minutes to cut this. So it's a relatively fast job. But if this was a large three-dimensional job where you're 2 hours into it, you don't want to waste that period of time. So I've just shown you how to regain the 00, the work offset, or the G54, in the center of the material. Even if the material's cut away, you can do it by measurement. And you can see it works. And I've just shown you how to go into Mach 3 and choose the line of code and put that line of code in and start from that line of code. Mach 3 is really a brilliant program. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and don't forget there's a second channel and you can get to that off my main page, and you'll see it in the top right hand corner there. You click on my face and you'll get there. And I would like to say thank you to those who have sent goodwill comments on behalf of my wife, and she's doing okay, and hopefully she's going to make a full recovery. So I think everybody knows by now that I do CNC routing, wood turning, a lot of wood turning. I've branched out now into lasers, and that's mostly on my other channel, and CNC milling. Now that's quite a little different to CNC routing. It's not too far removed, but those machines obviously will machine steel and anything in between. You don't normally put wood in those, although I do occasionally, and I do have a new machine coming. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for all the goodwill messages through my wife's illness over the last few months. Very much appreciated. And so until then, I'll see you. So until next time, it's bye for now.